college football world, acknowledge us. We are the Outlaw Posse, and the Outlaw Posse is now in effect. Figure 1989 M would like that. He's a big WWE fan. Obviously, he likes the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. Maybe we'll get on here one night and have a discussion about wrestling. I know wrestling's fake. Before we get the Captain Obvious jackass in here saying, hey, you know wrestling's fake? Yeah. I'm glad you told me that because, I thought the Tooth Fairy was real. So I guess that's the next thing in order to tell me that the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist, right? You also know that Rocky Balboa didn't really win all those boxing titles, right? How's it going out there, guys and gals? Been an explosive week in college football. A few things happened after this Saturday that I did not expect. Like the Michigan thing, when you think conference realignment can't throw you a curveball, now the Michigan people are talking about possibly leaving the Big Ten if the Big Ten continues to punish them, they said, without due process. My question is to Michigan, 1989 M, maybe you can answer this since you're a Michigan guy. Suspending Harbaugh for a few games, to me, was pretty tame. I thought that the Big Ten let them off easy, in my opinion. I mean, they could have said, hey, you're not going to be eligible for a bowl game or you're not eligible for the college football playoff. And they didn't do that. They kept the door open for Michigan to make the playoffs this year. Although if it was me, I would probably dismiss the playoffs. I'd probably go ahead and take my punishment now because if you don't, the NCAA, there's no telling what they'll do. They're so inconsistent. They could let y'all off scot-free and they could hammer the hell out of you like they did Alabama for a lot less. Bring in our legendary jackass, Jonathan Lewis.
Yeah, okay. Keep talking that way. I have to straighten you out.
Yeah, I had a little something to your ticker there, sort of combined with stuff. I don't think you mind that too much.
I'll allow it this time.
All right. I'm tired of backhanding you. My arm's a little tired from that shit.
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't notice you was in there in queue. I thought you could come on in on your own. I didn't know.
I can. I was just waiting on you to do your thing.
Yeah, I was just touching on some of the subjects we're going to do tonight. It's the Michigan thing, and Jimbo Fisher, as you know, got fired today after a pretty big win over Mississippi State. I'm like, what was y'all waiting on?
59-10, right?
Maybe it should have been 58-10. They wouldn't have fired him then. I don't know. And that's a big, huge buyout, is it not? That's like $77 million.
Yeah, it's like $78 million. It's a lot of money.
I mean, why give a big contract to these coaches like that nowadays? It seems like it makes them lazy, man. Once you give them that guaranteed money, it's like they become lackadaisical.
Or maybe Jameis Winston was his one-year wonder, and it wasn't him.
Yeah, now that I sort of discussed with a friend of mine off air, Jeff Payton, who, by the way, he's a new member of the Outlaw Posse. Jeff Payton has his badge, and he is now deputized. If you want to be an Outlaw Posse like Jeff and get your badge, it's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Little join button next to the subscribe button. Just hit that. You'll get your badge, be deputized, get your random Four Horsemen shout out as well as possible be the comment of the day.
So, I do have a bone to pick with a lot of your Oklahoma fans.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here comes the waterboarding session.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? I'm going to hear it. All I kept saying, it's not Levy's fault. Levy's averaging over 40 points a game. He is inconsistent in his play calling. I'll give you that. How many points did Oklahoma score against West Virginia? Was it like 59, something like that? The most West Virginia's allowed all year, right? Against anyone. Dylan Gabriel had 5 touchdowns, who I've been screaming for at least should be in the Heisman race all year. I don't know, man. I do know one thing. Your defense consistently gives up points. I think we got to officially steer away from Jeff Lebby and probably look at the guy in charge at Brent Venables on taking responsibility for the defense away from Ted Roof.
Yeah, well, they did hold him to 20 points this time. They held him under 30.
Okay, but listen to what you just said. At least they held them, right? It's West Virginia. Are they a world beater?
I mean, they were a pretty good team now. They were 6-3, right?
6-3.
Now 6-4. I heard something about that game. I heard that
I don't know.
Neil Brown tried not to shake Brent Venables' hand. What's that all about?
I don't know. Brown, so I don't know much about him. I know that the West Virginia fans call for his head one week, and then they want him like on an extension the next week. So I have no idea. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring up this comment, Mike. I'm gonna hammer it every week. Every week you guys give this dude crap, I'm gonna hammer it. Just like I hammer. How much did I give Pete Golding and you know what I mean, and Bill O'Brien's shit about Alabama? Not on your show in particular all the time when I did it, but a lot. And there's no exception here. Because the OU fans went after Levy and didn't say nothing about your defense other than it's mediocre, it's average. It was not average. So,
well, 20 points is a lot better, though, right?
It's a lot better against a West Virginia team. Yes, I agree with that. But if you're going to criticize the man for not performing to your standard on offense, why not give the dude some credit for scoring 59?
Right.
Why is it only going one way? Is he the scapegoat?
They bring up the fact that they've had a lot of injuries, the defense is banged up, and that kind of deal. But Danny Stutzman was in a few of those games that Oklahoma gave up over 30 points. That was my point to him. I wasn't trying to say that Jeff Lebby wasn't at fault somewhat. I was just saying that I think it's, I hate to be, what would you call, old hat or cliche. I hate to be cliche, but it was an entire team effort on losing those games, in my opinion.
100%. And I'm still going to beat the drum of Oklahoma is still better than last year. They're improving. This is not a one-year gig, man, where you're going to be the national championship in 1 year. But all I'm saying is and I'm not saying all OU fans did this, by the way, because I see obviously sound like Teresa didn't go after Levy. I know that. But most people that when I seen on here, and then the Oklahoma boards I looked at, they were all calling for Levy to be fired. And I'm like, man, this is wild. Over 40 points a game, you score 59 now. I don't know. I don't know what you expect at this point out of Levy.
Well,
Levy's a young coach. He's coming into his own. You have a young offense.
Well, on the positive side of things, they did what they was supposed to do.
Yeah.
After losing 2 straight games like that, they come home and get a little pissed off and beat the hell out of a decent West Virginia team. This ain't the West Virginia team from last year that only won 3 or 4 games. It's the West Virginia team that I think is I think they're now bowl eligible, if I'm not mistaken. So they did it. They scored 59 points on a decent team that was probably on the cusp of being ranked. So you got to give it to Jeff Lebby and Brent Venables and the entire Oklahoma team. They got their shit together and didn't let this thing spiral out of control. Like another team, USC.
Colorado and USC.
That's right. The Skittle Shitters and the Con Time Deion Standard Groupies are continuing to spiral out of control. It was a great day for college football for me. Was it not? Alabama won. Oklahoma won. Con Time lost. Another close one. And
USC lost.
And USC lost again. And did you see the Michigan interim coach after the game?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that shit up for you in just a second. I don't mind people crying. I'm not making fun of people crying because you're going to get emotional. Sometimes it's going to happen. But there's a difference in crying and just melting down and acting like you're having some kind of mental episode like Caleb Williams did. But this,
I knew you were going to say that.
This Michigan coach, I guess he took a cue from Caleb Williams. And, I mean, it was pretty epic, man. I'm going to pull it up here in a second while you continue going on what you want to touch on.
All right, so no, in all seriousness, I'm giving a lot of Oklahoma fans, you know what I mean? I'm just having fun with it at this time because Alabama we performed a lot better than I thought. So it was a good weekend of football in all seriousness. But I do think you got to give Levy some time. Like you're going to have to give Brent Venables some time, some Ted Root some time as well. All these guys are coming into their own if you think about it. Brent Venables' first time being a D1 head coach, right, of a major program like this. And then you look at Jeff Lebby's really getting his own reins for the first time, not being underneath that high-powered head coach. There was also a play caller at one point that drew up some of the plays, I'm sure. So he's got to come into his own and figure his own style out. But not only that, but Jeff Lebby, we also have to understand, same thing with Ted Roof in the defense. So this whole system is kind of pieced together off of transfer portal / young players / a mix of the old regime, right? So, number one, Jeff Lebby, Ted Roof, these guys don't have their own players in place. So, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, and I don't like saying it per se, but having Jackson Arnold sit this long behind Dylan Gabriel and learn the system for a full year, not coming in doing that crazy, is going to benefit the Oklahoma offense a lot. Same thing with the offensive line. It's a lot of repositioning. When you're talking about the staff over at Oklahoma, you didn't lose a head coach. You lost basically an entire staff to get replaced for the most part. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know the defensive back coach, you're talking about Todd Bates being the D-line coach. There's just so much behind this that has to be adjusted. But that's all I wanted to touch on with Oklahoma. I just had to give you guys a little bit of crap like I do everybody that overcorrects on something they're going to talk about, like Jeff Lebby to be fired. Now, obviously, that's not everybody on here. But you got to poke the bear a little bit, right? But other than that, USC losing to Oregon, I thought that was going to be a tight game. I thought I saw a comment on here talking about Oregon should have beat USC by more than that. I wouldn't completely agree with that. I think it's a very emotional game for Caleb Williams and that whole entire staff. And you're talking about Sean Lee, the linebacker. When you're talking about everybody on that staff that most likely will not be coming back. You know, they lost a terrible game last week in their eyes. Now they're going to come back and fight for basically their Super Bowl or national championship, whatever the hell you want to call it, in my opinion, against Oregon. And that doesn't work out. So I give Oregon credit for that because Dan Lanning, once again, he just finds ways to win games on a consistent manner.
Let me bring something up for you real quick.
Yeah.
All right. You see that?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
All right.
Are second to none. Second to none. What an absolutely ridiculous
I don't
sport.
think this is right.
I love it, though. You have to love it. My favorite genre of sports is when a player or coach gets suspended and then the team in response acts like he died. And that's exactly what Michigan did today as Jim Harbaugh, their head coach, was suspended. They beat Penn State, and then the acting head coach, Sharon Moore, gave an amazing post-game interview.
Coach Harbaugh, fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here, man. These guys did it, man. Shout out to him, man.
I love this passion from Sharon Moore, but listen to this clip from quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
I just miss him. I miss him, even though I saw him last night. You know, it's just different without his presence on this field. And, you know, no matter what happens, I can't wait to get him back.
I have a feeling he's watching this one.
Dramatics of college football are second to none. Second to none. What an absolutely ridiculous sport.
Think about that.
Is
that a little over the top?
Over the top may be an understatement for that one.
That, to me, is a guy that's putting on an act and wants the job. He's acting that way because he thinks if he acts like that, oh, look at the passion. We're going to give him the head coaching job when we fire Jim Harbaugh.
I think he probably realizes this is his one chance to take in the light. And I'm not trying to knock the dude, but
that's a little too much, man. That's a little too much.
That was extreme. I'm not gonna lie. You would, if I watched that clip, not knowing anything about the situation and took it for what it was at face value, I'm thinking Jim Harbaugh's dead. Literally, like that dude said. This is for you, Jim Harbaugh. Like, he's almost like pointing to the sky and bro, like I mean, to each their own. He could be just a very emotional person, man. To each their own.
Well, whatever, man. That's a little emotionally unstable. That's a damn Vince Young lose your noodle over some damn smack talk on the NFL sidelines kind of shit. That's what's going to happen to Caleb Williams, by the way. When he goes to NFL and people start grilling his ass, he thinks they grill him bad in college football. Let him go to venues like Philadelphia, New York,
my Lord.
Los
Philly?
Angeles,
Philly is brutal.
Atlanta. They're going to be on his ass, man.
Yeah, Philly, I think, has some of the most brutal fans. Philly and Pittsburgh has to be like some of the craziest fans I've met. They will hammer you. But, yeah.
We got 58 people up in here already. If y'all want to get your comment read out by me and Jonathan and have us respond to you, just click on the money dollar sign at the bottom of this video and write your comment out first and then send it so we can see it. It'll highlight and it'll push it to the top. Just make a little donation to the show. So Jimbo Fisher, man, it's back up again to Jimbo. We really elaborate on that. Who's going to take the spot for Jimbo? Do they even? I know Texas A&M has big money, man, but
They have big money.
No, ain't 77 million even steep for them?
Okay, so I know you're asking me that question. 77 million is not steep for them, by the way.
Well, they said it was going to be paid out over 9 years, though.
Yeah, well, not only that, but they're like what, top 5 biggest boosters in the country. So you're talking they can pay out big money. But here's my bigger question, in my opinion. You fired him after destroying, it was Mississippi State, correct? Is who they just absolutely annihilated. Most people would say it's a weird time to fire somebody after a big win like that. I'm not going to say the middle of the season, but towards the end of the season. If that happens, don't you think there's somebody in mind they've already been talking to or plans on bringing in immediately?
Yeah, they thought that with who was it that was going to hire Jimbo Fisher before A&M or somebody else? LSU maybe was going to hire Jimbo Fisher. That's what it was. LSU was going to hire Jimbo Fisher. Yeah. And they thought they had Jimbo Fisher, so they let Ed Orgeron go about the same time, like in the middle of the season. And then they didn't have him. So they better be damn well sure they got him, man, to make him let go after a 51-10 win, right?
I agree 100% with Steve B here. That's the point I'm trying to make is like they have to know who they're bringing in, right? Like if they're going to fire him like that. So I'll let you bring up – oh, my bad. Okay. Heath Stokes.
Yeah, we got our first donation, big $20 donation from Heath Stokes. It says, what's up, Outlaw? Michigan and Georgia are for real. Bama is serious again. Oklahoma and BV have righted the ship, and USC has no direction now. Texas A&M just moves on. That's what rich people do.
I agree.
Pretty much agrees with what you're saying. I just don't realize that. I just don't see how people have that much money to spend on a sport. You know, I love college football.
It's a lot of money. It's a whole hell of a lot of money in the sport. Now, my question to everybody in the comments is who you guys think who will Texas A&M bring in to replace Harbaugh? Or Harbaugh on the mind. Jimbo Fisher. So, and was that stint, that one national championship, a fluke with Jameis Winston? JPC, I want you to answer that.
Well, at first I didn't think it was a fluke. That was something me and you disagreed upon.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see the light a little bit on that. I'm starting to think maybe you were correct on that assessment.
Say that again. I just want to hear it because I've never heard you say that.
That's because you're usually not right, and I'm usually right.
Oh, yeah, okay. You keep dreaming that. But okay.
By the way, this is going to be our official sponsor one day, Waffle House.
Hey, I'm down. You know me. Every time I go to Tuscaloosa, by the way, everybody, yeah, I go to Waffle House. I dig the Waffle House.
And Taco Casa.
Yeah.
It's our Tuscaloosa original. So if y'all ever in Tuscaloosa, look up Taco Casa. That's pretty good. Combo number 4. And seems Brian Kelly had some choice words for Dallas Turner. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't get to read on that at all.
He claims that Dallas Turner was that was a dirty hit. Didn't look like a dirty hit to me. Dallas Turner just knocked the shit out of him. It was a good, hard hit. You know, back in the day, that would be considered a great hit. That would have been one of those posterized paintings like, Alabama's got of Cornelius Bennett burying Steve Berline.
Well, if you watch the all 22 film, it is a clean hit. You see his shoulder pads connect. The shoulder pads make contact before anything makes contact.
Well,
and it's obvious.
Even the announcers of the game were trying to trump it up as targeting, and then and they didn't even review it. I'm like, I guess y'all look like idiots now because they didn't even review that shit. It was nothing close to targeting, man. It was probably the perfect hit at the perfect time because he didn't even get rough in the pass on that, did he? Or did he?
He got. I think he got a personal foul for.
He got rough in the pass on it, but he didn't get targeted.
He got a rough in the passer because he drove through the quarterback. Like he hit him in the ground, like slammed him, right? So, which I don't agree. That's part of the rule I don't agree with. I'm not saying to violently like twist the guy into the ground, but if you're form tackling somebody, it's hard to pull off of it, right? So I don't know.
Sheldon Lanning seems to think Dan Lanning might be a candidate.
I can't agree with that.
You don't think he'd come to A&M?
I think that the reason why I think you wouldn't is because right now that is a disaster job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Who's going to take over that job? Because a lot of people will point out, which they did in here already, that Texas A&M had the number one recruiting class. Well, about half that class left. So, like, that's a big was number one class.
The stadium in College Station is bar none one of the best stadiums in college football. But outside of that, the town of College Station, at least what you told me, is
nothing.
Shit.
It's nothing there
to hang out for a young man in college. I mean, I'm sorry, but Tuscaloosa is not a big city either, but it's pretty well statured the way it is. It's a pretty nice little party town, whereas College Station isn't.
Yeah. No, College Station.
And I'm like you. I think he sees that, that paid me a lot of money, but will I be fired in a few years like Jimbo? Because the damn boosters in Texas seems like to meddle. I mean, it seems like Texas and Texas A&M have that in common. And I think that the way Alabama's set up right now, that if he were to leave for a program, Alabama might be that team.
Yeah, I don't think Dan Lanning's leaving Oregon right now. It would have to be a hell of a job to open up for him to leave, especially with the movement and the noise he's making over there. But my question is, do you think Jimbo's done coaching? Period.
Well, I mean, he's already got that guaranteed money. I mean, what would you do? I mean, I would go. I'd go broadcasting like Dan Mullen or some shit.
I wouldn't even broadcast. I'd ride off in the sunset. I'd go buy me a boat and I'd be fishing all day, drinking beer.
Be like Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson on the yacht on the coast of Miami somewhere.
100%. Oh man. Now this is an interesting take. Right. Oh, I misclicked. Kiffin or Dabo? Kiffin is interesting. The Kiffin one's very interesting because it ups your ante. Like Texas A&M, they bring in Kiffin. They want to win a national championship. I believe with Kiffin at Ole Miss, they're kind of content with winning 9 to 10 games.
Yeah,
and they don't expect that. So does Kiffin want to up his pressure point to have to win the big games?
I think Kiffin's just too much of a competitor. He wants to win a national championship and contend one. I think that he's going to see, well, I've got no miss as far as I can get them. Going 8-2 right now after 10 games is probably about as good as it's going to get at Ole Miss. And at Texas A&M, he would have the resources. And it would be interesting to see him and Sarkisian going head-to-head. Yeah. And that would sort of be like a trump card to Texas in a way. And as far as Dabo goes, Dabo has been incurring a lot of, turmoil in Clemson. And people have been pissing him off a little bit. So he might be willing to listen.
Now, I think the interesting name that hasn't been brought up that I'm surprised you didn't bring up.
I've been thinking about it.
And you know who I'm about to say, right?
Go ahead.
Put on the glasses.
Oh, shit.
Put on the glasses. I don't care if they're on like a 4 or 5 game losing streak right now. A&M will be calling that man right there to at least make an offer.
You can't
Watch.
see me. I can't
Watch.
see myself.
I guarantee you that's going to at least have that. They have to at least be intrigued because he's
Intrigued by
going to
what? Intrigued of what? He's 4-6.
I'm saying they're going to be intrigued. A&M is not going to care about the record because A&M is going to say they were 1-11 last year.
Oh yeah, well, they also went out and got a bunch of transfer portal players and replaced half that team.
You're right, and he would bring those 4 and 5-star players like Travis Hunter and those guys to A&M and implement that system at A&M. I'm not saying it works. I'm not saying that.
I'm thinking there's some kind of rule now against transferring twice. There's some kind of
hell. I don't know. All I know is I'm telling you now, Texas A&M is probably on the phone right now talking to Deion Sanders because if there's going to be somebody with money to buy them out that would be willing to do it, it would be probably a team like Texas A&M.
It would be a disaster.
It would be a monumental disaster, but it doesn't matter because where would the spotlight be shining? Right on College Station.
Sometimes a temporary spotlight like that ain't really good as far as long-term picture, in my opinion. So that's not who I was thinking of. I thought you was going to mess with Oklahoma people and tell them that he's going after Brent Venables.
Oh, no. Come on now. I'm not crazy. You're the one that does that. No, in all seriousness, though, I'd have to think about who they would really target. Because I really don't. I don't know. And it's funny because Stink Ass Cat says he only won 4 games this year. What did I say after he lost the second game? He was 4-2, and what did I say? And a lot of us said it, that he could possibly not win another game this year.
Yeah, it's time we thought maybe Arizona, but then Arizona turned out to be a good team.
Yeah.
So now Arizona's now 7-3 after that last win. By the way, Stink Ass Cat has his badge as well as Mike Wilkerson and other people up in here. You want to get your badge and get deputized, just join the Outlaw Posse's little join button, next subscribe button. Click on the join button. It's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Get your random 4 horseman shout out as well as possibly be the comment of the day.
I want to look up the transfer rules real quick.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. I think people make a mistake by thinking that you can just do that all the time. Build a team, build a program on transfer portals alone, because Deion Sanders' actual recruiting is horrible. He's like in the 50s or 60s in recruiting right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Deion Sanders.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, his actual recruiting, not transfer portal recruiting. You know, they separate those two and actually rank them, which is stupid to me because most transfer portal players are leaving because they're not good enough to make the cut at their current team. Now, you get an occasional nugget like Alabama did with Jamison Williams and the guy from Georgia Tech that was the running back last year. But for the most part, you usually don't get that kind of player out of the transfer portal. I mean, USC's finding that out right now with the cohesion that's not there.
Yeah, no. And so the players can transfer again. They just have to wait at the sit. So I just looked up the rule. It says they can enter the transfer portal without setting immediately once, and then they have to wait a year if they transfer again. So, but I don't know how it would work. All I know is that Texas A&M is probably going to at least try to entertain the move, I would assume. I'm trying to think in my head who they would go after. Because right now, I'll be straight up honest with you, I can't think of anybody.
Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Lane Kiffin. I saw Mike Elko was high on their list from Duke because he used to be the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M at one time. Is that right?
He was, I believe. But I think that A&M's going to want to go with somebody solidified. Everybody keeps bringing up Utah, Kyle Whittingham, right? Who I love. But I think Kyle Whittingham's not going to leave Utah, period. I believe he just doesn't leave there for any job. It doesn't matter. He's a part of that program. He's going to retire there, I believe. So that's just
26 is in the house with a big fist bump. I always give him a big old fist bump. He's a big time donor to the program. Go ahead.
But yeah, can you think of anybody that Joe Brady? Maybe.
Head coach.
Yeah. Like Joe Brady would know what he's doing. He has, I don't know.
Maybe they're gonna bring in somebody that's already on the staff.
That would be a damn disaster.
Bob
I don't
Petrino.
know. Shut up.
He's been a head coach before.
Oh, now what? Okay, I think this would be a wild move. I like the idea of this though. James Franklin to Texas A&M from Penn State.
He's been acting like he wants out of Penn State for a while. Every time a job comes open, his name gets floated out there.
That's what I'm saying. James Franklin, I think, would have to be looked at as well. He can't win the big games at Penn State. He's got to be tired of losing to Ohio State and Michigan every year, it feels like.
About Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri.
No. Your Texas A&M standards are they want one of the best, even though the standards are very colluded and delusional, which is why Jimbo Fisher turned out the way it turned out. But yeah, and like someone said, Penn State is souring on him. Barnes Homestead said that, and I think Texas A&M would bring him in. He knows the South. He's recruited the South. But I wouldn't be over the moon about it if I'm a A&M fan. But I think it would be one of the better ones you could find right now that possibly would be willing to go over.
What about Matt Campbell at Iowa State?
That's another one. I like Matt Campbell. I like Matt Campbell.
He's done about all you can do at Iowa State, right?
Yeah.
I think what about the guy at Oregon State? Who is that? Jonathan Smith?
Yeah. Oh, everybody keeps asking who I am, I think. Who you keep talking to. Oh, you don't have the names. Oh, the names don't come up.
I'm the outlaw of college football, and he is college football with Jonathan Lewis. Formerly. He's like Prince, the
former
podcaster known as Jonathan Lewis.
Oh, man.
He just comes out of retirement every so often. He's like Jimmy Johnson in the booth.
Oh, man.
You got about as many women as Jimmy Johnson.
Shut up.
You got to get my obligatory Godfather shot in.
Bro, I love Thunder OU Sooner. You had me happy for about, I was like, oh, man, I'm going to go coach. I would love to coach for about 1 week. After I got worn out, I'd be too tired. After hearing about the hours those guys put in, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he could do it.
He was telling you that Lincoln Riley was going to be the next head coach.
Yeah, he was, but he just typed in. People were asking who I was. So, but yeah. My God.
Should say my pitch.
Oh, yeah, right. Bob Stoops coming out of retirement to coach A&M. You do want to create a firestorm in here today.
That'd be an ouch move.
I'm trying to.
What about Chris Kleiman at Kansas State? You know I'm high
on him too, but I don't think A&M brings him in. I'm going to look through. Who is Louisville's coach?
Jeff Brom, I think.
He's done nothing but turn that program around.
That's his alma mater. That's why he left Purdue and went there.
Oh, is it? I didn't
know that. Sort of a lateral move for him, but we got so many comments in here. Once again, if y'all want us to talk and read out your comment and answer your question, just click on the money dollar sign at the bottom of the show here and make a small donation to the show, and it'll highlight your comment and push it to the top, and we'll read it out and answer your question.
Now, I do have what's this guy's name? Hang on. Let's see. Man, I'm looking. I can't think of. I'll be honest with you. There's not a standout that says that would do it.
Sean McVay. What's Sean McVay, man? Ain't he an announcer or something?
I don't think Sean.
That might have been an answer something else. Les Miles.
Shut up, dude.
What about the Texas Tech coach?
I don't think that's going to work.
The guy ain't won at Texas Tech, so I don't know if I'd consider him or not.
What about
Everybody
Bill
was real
O'Brien?
hard. They were real high on him last year, but he sort of shit the bed this year. And I know they upset Kansas this week, but Leopold has done a real good job at Kansas. He might be a candidate.
No, you're right there. Man, I'll tell you right now, Gary Patterson would never go be a head coach.
Get Dan Mullen to come out of retirement and bring his bunny humping wife with him. She could kiss every one of the players. She kissed every one of the players on the mouth down in College Station because they like kissing a lot. And in college anyway.
Look, we don't need to be mentioning no UTSA coach.
Yes.
I need him.
Yeah.
I need him to stay down here with me in San Antonio.
By the way, I don't know if Heath Stokes is in the room, but Heath Stokes bought me a little present right here, as y'all can see.
I thought that was an Oklahoma shirt. I just didn't say nothing.
It looks crimson. It looks like I maybe got an Alabama shirt on, but appreciate the Stokes clan for keeping me clothed over here because Jonathan, he just leaves me out to dry sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, man. And see, and that's what Mullen is an asshat. Robert, the time is interesting. They have a man a place. And that's the thing, man. I believe they do. I'm just trying to get a grasp on who that could even be. And I can't put my finger on it. Not even close.
Because this is sort of changing the subject a little bit, but because Jaden Williams had a great day against Florida, which I don't really take that seriously, to be honest with you, because Florida's lost their shit again. They got Jalen Williams as the leading Heisman candidate again. And I'm thinking, what about Jalen Milroe, man? Look at the numbers he's been putting up here lately. He set up a couple of records the last 2 games. He had 4 rushing touchdowns, first time in Alabama history. And this last game, he was the first Alabama quarterback to throw for 3 and rush for 3. Total of 6 touchdowns.
I'm going to stop you while you're ahead of the game. A Heisman winner will not be won by a man that was benched earlier in the season.
That'd be a great story, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't. Because he wouldn't deserve it.
He got benched for 1 game and came back, and look at the story he's told since. It's all about the story, too. That's what you forget.
No, I'm not forgetting it, but I don't believe he deserves it.
I didn't say he deserved it. I said he deserved to be considered if you're going to consider the other cats. I mean, the guy at Washington ain't been doing that great here lately. Michael Penix Jr. ain't looked that great.
Do not ever compare Michael Penix to
Michael
Jalen
Penix.
Milroe.
Michael Penix is overrated.
I know what you're doing, and you're not going to do it.
I'm serious. He is overrated. I mean, 15-7 against Arizona State. Shitty defense.
Not even get
He
me
didn't even
started.
bring up an offensive touchdown. That was a defensive touchdown.
What did Jalen Milroe do against UCF?
Who's UCF?
Not UCF, but
You talking about Oklahoma?
dear God, no.
Oklahoma State. You talking about Pokey State?
Hang on.
Chucky Pokey State lost their shit.
I don't know why I said UCF. Hang on. I got to bring this up real quick because I'm an Alabama fan, and I'm telling you no. He deserved.
I don't care if you're a Clipper Rock fan. I'm telling you yes.
I'm telling you, you're being a biased fan right now.
I'm not being
you got to take off your biased glasses a little bit.
I'm saying all these people up Michael Penix's ass need to uninsert their head from his ass because he ain't done shit the last couple of games.
Yeah, you're right. Jalen Milroe, who's tied for 65th in the nation for passing yards, should absolutely be considered. And don't get me started on the running. I get it. He runs a little bit.
I see what I got him mixed up with the damn announcer. Sean McCullough, I guess that's it.
Sean McVay.
He's the current Los Angeles coach, youngest coach in the NFL. Already won a Super Bowl franchise going nowhere now. Talked about retirement this year. He needs a challenge. Thinking outside the box. Maybe Sean McVay with Texas A&M.
Well, the damn challenge would be rebuilding the Rams.
That would actually make sense because, Sean McVay's not tied down to the process of the recruiting season that's going on right now for college football, right?
Yeah, no.
He's still currently in the season with the Rams, so I don't know if he would consider entertaining that idea or not. I don't know if A&M would wait to the end of the NFL season to pursue him.
Man, I'm looking at Jalen Milroe's stats. Don't ever mention him for Heisman again.
It's not all about stats, man. If it was, then that Western Kentucky guy would have won the damn Heisman Trophy last year.
But stats have to be a part of it.
He didn't get invited, and he had the most.
He
stats.
got benched.
Western Kentucky.
Plain and simple.
Western Kentucky.
Dude,
all the stats in the world and didn't even get an invite to the Heisman Trophy show.
that was wrong. I agree. That was kind of wrong. I agree there. But my point is this: you can't be benched and then win the Heisman. So
Sure you
your
can.
coach is saying that you may not even be the
You
best
know,
quarterback on
I
your
know.
team.
You know, and I know he was benched for a reason. It was to prove a fucking point, and it was proven.
He stuck the week before. That's why
He benched him because he was proving a point. He's like, all right, I'm
No,
going to show
man.
y'all. I'm going to show
Don't-
y'all how
no.
crappy these
Don't
two
twist your
quarterbacks-
damn narratives now.
They didn't even give him a shot. They didn't even give Tyler Simpson a shot to start the game because Nick Saban wanted to prove a point. And he did. He proved a point. Now look at Jalen Milroe now.
You were one of
Well,
the
and
biggest
speaking of
critics
winning
of
awards-
Jalen Milroe.
speaking
You were
of
one of
winning
the
awards,
biggest critics of him.
let me change subject for just a second. Speaking of winning awards and someone that does deserve it, why in the hell is Nick Saban only one coach of the year like once?
That I can never explain.
How
I
can you win?
don't know.
How can you win 7 national championships and only have one coach of the year?
That I can't explain to you. That it's a rigged system. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Nick Saban's supposed to do that. That's what they'll say. What about Brent Venables for coach of the year? Think he's done enough for that? Or the 2 losses going to take him out of that?
Brent Venables won't win coach of the year. The 2 losses took it out of him.
Well, he comes around and wins the Big 12 title or something.
I think the Louisville head coach right now should be around the leading candidate. I don't know the dude's name.
Speaking of UCF, since you
Oh, they are getting
getting desperate.
yes. I like it because they're poking back at you with that whole Brent Venables going to their bullshit that you do.
Well, the thing is, what they don't understand, Jonathan, but you know, is that don't make me unhappy at all.
I know. Don't say that because if Nick Saban would listen to this guy over here, he would leave.
That's right. It's time to move on.
Yeah, okay.
Go out on top. Why wait until you're Bobby Bowden and going 6-6 to leave?
Yeah, I know, right? He's only going to the SEC championship game.
Exactly.
I mean, you should retire
like
right
Tom
now.
Osborne.
Why wait till that?
Like Tom.
You and your comments
Be like
are
Tom
ridiculous
Osborne.
sometimes.
Tom Osborne did what?
Did he retire in the middle of a season when he's about to win the conference?
Tom Osborne went out on top.
Dude,
I'm talking
get
about
the hell out of here.
Nick Saban could retire after this year and go out on top, man. What I'm asking you is, why do you have to wait until you go 6-6 to retire? That's my question.
Why would you want to? Okay, so he should. You are making no sense. So you're
Yes,
going to tell
I
me?
am.
So he should retire right. He should retire right now.
I'm saying he should retire after this year.
And so if he wins the national championship, he should just retire under what grounds?
Tom Osborne did.
Because of Tom Osborne, that's why Nick Saban should retire.
Right. It's a good example.
You were
Of
ridiculous.
how to go
dude.
out
You were
on top.
absolutely
Go out on
ridiculous.
top, man. Go out on top. Why
So-
would you want to wait till you're 6-6? Answer me that. Answer me that.
Who's 6? Is Alabama 6-6?
That's what I'm saying. Why would you want to wait till
Hell,
you go 6-6?
They haven't even lost less than 10
Why
games.
would you want to wait till you go 6-6? Why?
You're ridiculous.
I'm asking you a question. You
Look,
ain't answering it.
I'm reading off a comment here. FSU head coach is leading the Brown, and Mike Norvell definitely deserves it. I'll give him that.
Mike
100%.
Norvell, that
Yeah,
shit
he's
was right.
deserving.
The Gators are going to upset the Seminoles next week.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know because Florida has been known to show up to a game or two.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm saying. Well,
Wouldn't that be something?
Florida State has been known to shit the bed against much lesser competition. Take Boston College and Pittsburgh, for example. Probably should have lost that Boston College game.
And I have to disagree with the comment. Say we should retire because he's old. Define old. If you're winning it, if he wins a national championship this year, once again,
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying why not go out on top? And you're just dismissing what I'm saying.
I'm not dismissing. It's not a valid question.
It is.
He's not 6-6.
Why not? Why you want to wait until you?
Okay, when is he going to go 6-6 next year?
That's what I'm saying. Why wait?
Is he going to go 6-6 next year?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
believe Alabama's going 6-6 next year? Spit the water out because you know it's ridiculous.
No. I'm asking you. and you ain't answering the question.
There's nothing to answer.
Yes.
You're not asking a valid question.
Well, let me ask you this. When should he retire then?
When he feels like he can't perform the job that he needs to do to win a national championship.
So you think that he should wait till he goes 6-6?
No.
That's what you just said?
If he's performing a job and thinks that he can't coach to a level to win a national championship, you should no longer be coaching at that level. Plain and simple.
Why not go out on top?
You're ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and do this all night.
Yes, you are.
You're ridiculous.
Though you play Kansas and OSU the way they play West Virginia, they'd still be undefeated. I don't know. Maybe West Virginia just ain't that good. Maybe they've won 6 games against subpar competition. Maybe West Virginia just ain't that good. I hate that for Cuz, but West Virginia, they talk out of both sides of their mouth. They want to get rid of Neil Brown because he's not winning 9 or 10 games a year. And then when I say something about it, or I say something about it outside of West Virginia camp, they're like, oh, well, we don't expect to win more than 7 or 8 games a year. Well, then why are y'all getting mad at fucking Neil Brown for winning 7 or 8 games a year?
Exactly.
They talk out of both sides of their mouth down there in Morgantown.
Oh, man.
My guy, 12-18's in the house with his badge. He's an Oregon fan. I hope A&M hires Kellen DeBoer so we can get him out of the Pac-12.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at Washington. He's Washington's head coach, right?
That's right.
He's doing a good job at Washington.
I take it back what I said about Conti, man. I think he might actually win one more game. Washington State looks like shit right now.
they do.
They're going to bail him out, man. They're going to give him that 5th win.
Nah, I don't know. Either way, they're not going to a bowl game. Do you remember when people had them possibly winning the Pac-12?
Then they were talking about him. And see, that's what I'm saying. If they had said nothing and went bonkers over the 3-0 start, I probably wouldn't be on as hard. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll be agreeing with them. Yeah, they went 1-12 last year, and they turned it around and went 4-8, 5-7. That's a good sign of progression. But that's not what happened. They won those 3 games, and even Deion and them were talking all that mad shit, throwing up the watches and all that other crazy shit, talking about they're going to win a national championship, go to the playoffs, and win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I know.
And now they're not even going to go to the Celebration Bowl. He could maybe, sometimes when they don't have enough winning teams, they get an exemption. You might get one of them exemptions. Maybe he could go to the Celebration Bowl and take the first historically white school to the Celebration Bowl. What do you think? No?
No.
They could play Jackson State.
Here we go. Here we go. I like when you get on these tangents. Anyways, what else?
He deserves to be.
Colorado couldn't beat the University of Denver.
Denver don't even have a football team.
The Colorado School of Mines is, I think they're located out of Denver. How I know that, I have no idea. I think they're in Denver though.
Well, they did beat 4 teams now, Jeff. To be fair, they did win 4 games this year. Whether he wins another game or not for the rest of his coaching career there remains to be seen. Because he should have lost that game to Colorado State.
Yeah, you're right.
So we got a donation to the program. Marine Center with a $1.99 donation. I don't see a comment with that Marine, but if you want to throw a comment somewhere down there, we'll be happy to read it out for you.
All right. To the people in the chat, who is Tulane's head coach? Aren't they ranked? Like, Tulane hasn't been doing that bad.
That's a good question. And he's done a good job at Tulane, too.
Yeah.
It looks like they might get that bid since Air Force has done shit to bed last 2 games. They lost to freaking Army and Hawaii.
I know. I was hoping the Air Force could hold it together.
Looks like Tulane might get that NY6. Do you still have to be ranked 12th or higher, though?
I'm not sure of the rule on it. I can't. Let me look up his name real quick. I don't know.
Corrections 101's got the answer for you. Willie
Where?
Fritz.
Willie Fritz. There we go. Willie Fritz. Yeah, he's done a hell of a job there. That may be the guy you can look on the outside because you don't have, if you don't want to blow a lot of money on a new big name head coach, you can bring in a guy like that and just almost take the risk, right, and not have to worry about giving them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, Barnes brings up a little something. James Madison's 10-0 in their first year in Division I football, but they can't go to a bowl because the NCAA makes them sit out a year from going to postseason play when you move up. And they're trying to get a waiver on that. So James Madison, if they get a waiver, may get that New Year's Day bowl.
Other than that, they're not going.
Yeah, and I think Liberty's undefeated too.
That would suck, like to have that opportunity and then that happen. Dude, I love this. Tulane broke USC.
They broke USA, broke Caleb Williams too, man.
Yeah.
He's been an emotional wreck since then.
Yeah.
I think that Tulane loss was just something that was festering in him, and he just broke down over in his mama's lap. Can't believe it. Can't believe he's done that. Alabama, Georgia, man. Once again, I know people get tired of that shit. I'll be honest with you. I get tired of it. I get tired of playing fucking Georgia in the SEC title game. And you made me cuss, man.
I didn't make you do anything. You're a grown-ass man.
Fault, man. Every time I get in here, I say the F word.
Yeah, keep blaming me.
It's just your presence, man. Makes me want to say the F word.
That's an odd thing to say. But I'm not going to lie. If I'm an SEC fan or a college football fan in general, I'm tired of seeing Alabama, Georgia.
Well, I mean, first it was Alabama. Now it's like everybody's tired of seeing Georgia in the east side of the bracket.
Yeah, and I remember when people were getting tired of Alabama, Clemson.
Yeah, Alabama and Florida used to be the thing too.
Yeah. Like, people were talking about that. And what do you think about Dabo and Clemson?
Well, I mean, they turned it around a little bit, right?
I mean, they were 4-4 at one point.
Yeah, they won the last two games in convincing fashion. They beat Notre Dame, and then who was they beat last week? Rather convincing, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I think it was a team like Georgia Tech. But yeah,
it was 42-7 one time. It ended up 42-21. So it looked like it might have fired his players up, that whole speech he done against that fan.
I agree 100% with you earlier, Robert. That's what I was trying to talk about when I was saying like it's going to have to be a big coach. For sure. I couldn't agree with that anymore. They're going to want somebody like a Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, whatever it may take.
Lincoln Riley ain't going to have a job, period.
You know who they should hire that has and they currently don't have a job? They should bring in Alex Grinch.
Yeah.
I was so thrilled when I saw that.
They probably blew the wide on the buyout with Jimbo, so they might get Alex Grinch on the discount rack there.
Yeah.
You know, the Skittle shitters probably put him out there at the thrift store in Los Angeles with the transgender volleyball tournaments and shit they have out there.
You're so ridiculous, bro.
Jonathan loved that. Bunch of transgenders in tight shorts with the balls hanging out.
No, not hardly, bro. I don't think you see me hanging out. So
I give Jonathan that. He only hangs out at volleyball games with young girls and stalks them at the the Alabama facility.
We didn't know there wasn't a volleyball game.
Tried to tell him, I said, man, it's not a volleyball game today. He said, I don't care. I'm going to go look at him.
You're so ridiculous, bro.
On video. He's going to put it on the internet, on his YouTube, on his Uber channel.
My Uber channel.
Yeah, he put it on his Uber channel.
You're making all sorts of stuff up today.
I'll see if I can piss Santa Claus off so I can get me a bag of switches so I can whip your ass with them when you come down here.
Yeah, okay. Oh, man.
So what y'all doing for Thanksgiving out there?
I'm not doing nothing.
You come down here.
I'll be Do what?
We'll cook you some turkey down here.
No, I can't leave. I'm working.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, the airports don't shut down for holidays like that. So going through here, what do you think about Texas struggling with TCU, who has 4 wins in the season?
Texas is – it just seems like Texas is sort of like Oklahoma in a way. After that game, the Red River Rivalry, they've been limping along. The only difference is they haven't messed around and lost a game yet. It's been close, and they look like they're teetering, and they look like they're ready to be upset. It would not surprise me if Texas Tech upset them next week.
The team that bothers me the most is in the East. Tennessee cannot decide if they want to be decent or not. They're playing phenomenal one week, and then the next week it's almost like they've never played football before.
It makes me sort of happy. I ain't going to lie.
They're just all over the place.
I can't stand Tennessee, man, period. I hate them more than Auburn, I think.
You don't like Heupel?
Stupid-ass Phil Fulmer shit where he tried to get us the death penalty back in the early 2000s.
Yep.
Mike Wilkerson said, look at Ted Roof's defense when Auburn won the national championship. His defense gave up acres of plays. Had it not been for Cam Newton, they probably would have won the championship that year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll give you that.
You know, actually, go ahead.
Cam Newton won them the national championship by himself. I'll be honest with you, I can't name an offensive player other than Cam Newton that was on that team. I know it was one of their worst offenses. I do know that. If you remove Cam Newton, I don't know how many games they're winning, but it's not more than 4. I can tell you that.
What a lot of people forget, though, is that in that game with Oregon, there wasn't a lot of scoring.
No.
It was like 22-19 without that lucky-ass play where the running back looked like he was down, running down there for a touchdown against Oregon. Oregon, we got their first national championship and finally broke through. Oregon is a program that's been on the cusp for a while. You got to feel bad for them, man, because they never won a national championship. I don't think they've ever won a national championship in anything.
I can tell you this.
Any big-time sports.
I thought they were going to break through with Marcus Mariota one of those years, and I don't get it, man. They had a hell of a stable of running backs that came out of there too. So,
Tanya Shipman with a super sticker. I never have understood the super sticker comments because I never can see the sticker on here for some reason. Why is it we can't see the sticker?
I have no idea.
Because I know when I'm on someone's podcast, there's like stickers you can buy that put them up there. So I don't know why I can't see the sticker, but I appreciate the $5 donation, Tanya, the super sticker. I really appreciate that. If you want to throw a comment in there somewhere with it, we'll read that out and we'll answer it.
I think it's because – hang on. I want to look on here. It's because they only show it on the YouTube platform. That's why.
Well,
so
I can see this.
Yes, I know you can see it, but StreamYard won't show YouTube's sticker on the StreamYard that you're using. So everybody else is seeing it, but you're not seeing the sticker. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it. It's really odd how that is.
So what do you think Oklahoma's chances are of running into USC in a bowl game this year? Because they were talking about the Alamo Bowl for them too.
USC has to win more games because right now they're not looking too hot.
If USC gets into the Alamo Bowl to play Oklahoma, me and you got to go to that game.
Oh, yeah, it's right down the road from me.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. I'll be lucky next year.
Like it's literally 17 minutes from my apartment. So yeah,
that'd be a good time to get the whole posse together. If Oklahoma plays USC in a bowl game, in the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, how many of y'all going to show up and meet me and Jonathan? That'd be awesome.
Take you guys down to the Riverwalk and drink.
I'm going to go to strip ball.
Overrated here.
I'm messing with you. Hell, you got your own strip club at your house there. Huh? You don't need a strip bar.
You're so
Where's that pole that you had up the other day?
You're so ridiculous, bro.
1989M, by the way, is a Michigan guy, and he's a pretty fair Michigan guy. He's thinking they should get rid of Harbaugh, he said earlier. He said, gentlemen, did y'all see that coach for Arizona Wildcats also inherited a one-win team? and now has lots of success. What's up, Time? What's his excuse? Hey, that's a great point.
That is a really good point.
That comes back to the motto of this show, the common Joe and the common Sally putting us in the know, even more so than all the media talking heads, because I didn't even know that, brother. That's a good-ass point. I'm going to use the hell out of that. That's some good grilling stuff right there. I'm going to grill the hell out of Deion with that.
Yeah.
And Arizona probably didn't have near the kind of fanfare and support that Deion had either.
Not even close. Come on now. I like this comment. Strip club in Texas, nude steers. Probably. Somebody was asking me earlier about my PS5. Hang on. Where was that? They were asking.
It's probably Kane. It's probably Kane Reed. He's a big gaming guy in here.
Let me see here. I can't remember that. Oh, here it's back. So PS, what games did you Madden 23 and NBA 2K, was it 24 or whatever, the newest NBA game that came out. I'm waiting for NCAA football to come back, though. I just got the PS5 recently. So
he likes Grand Theft Auto, too. Head for the border, Mexico.
Head for the border. I'm thinking about buying Grand Theft Auto.
That's right, Brendan. Then all those media talking heads, they know the catchphrase. They're versed up, brother.
Oh, man, look at all these people in here now.
That's right.
You know what's funny is I thought about buying some Oklahoma gear because when my channel first hit, it was in support. Like, my channel didn't hit because of Alabama fans. It hit because of a lot of Oklahoma fans.
Same here.
In all seriousness, I had a lot of support from Oklahoma fans.
I'll be honest with you.
So,
even though Alabama and Nick Saban are in their run right now, I thought about entering the fan transfer portal a time or two.
No, I wouldn't do that. But I will say that I've thought about buying Oklahoma gear for that reason alone.
There you go. He says Deion's a hockey dad at best. He ain't no football coach. He's a dance
God.
Well, 1989 M coming in with a smack. He knows all that wrestling lingo too. He got a lot of wrestling catchphrases in his repertoire there. He's a Michigan Wolverine. What's going to happen with Michigan? What do you think is going to end up happening with them 1989? Do you think that they're going to end up – what about you, John? Do you think they're going to keep Michigan out of a bowl game this year? Or?
No. I think they'll suspend Jim Harbaugh for more because I think he's suspended for what, 1989? I think he's suspended 3 games. I think they'll extend his suspension. So think about this. Jonathan versus Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee got outscored 50-0 in the second half of those 2 games. Yeah, because we had to come back in that game.
Tennessee's not a second half team, I don't think.
No. I didn't know it was that bad, though.
Jeff Payton bringing the knowledge, too.
See, I can't wait for GTA 6 game. Really. Yeah, I'm down. I didn't know they were making a GTA 6. Like I said, I just got my PS5 recently. Yeah, if anybody ever – I got to get my gamer tag and all that out there, I guess, next time I come on here. Because I don't know it off the top of my head.
Crime Time worries more about the jewelry he's going to wear more than the game plan. I have seen him making adjustments on the sidelines to his son's necklace. Yeah, halftime they don't make adjustments to the game plan. They make adjustments to the jewelry. That's a good one, Sooner fan. You're right.
Oh, I am going to the Spurs game Saturday against the Timberwolves. May not sound like a big deal, but I ended up getting tickets damn near courtside. Like, I'm like 4 rows back.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hines 57A says Michigan should be kicked out of bowl eligibility mainly because the cheating is throughout the entire staff. Yeah, they should, but the NCAA just drags their damn feet, man. But they'll push that shit through when it matters to them, like they did with Cam Newton. Being in that bowl, that championship game really mattered to them. So that's why they got to have to come up with a different governing body. Jonathan Lewis has always been a proponent of doing away with the NCAA. He really hates
NCAA. I think it's crooked as hell, man. I think NCAA is as crooked as it can humanly get.
Yeah, well, it's just like when Alabama was punished. They said we was staring down the barrel of the gun like they was going to give us the SMU thing. And you had California and Kentucky with LOI infractions, which is supposedly the cardinal sin. Lack of institutional control is what that stands for. And they had found both of them guilty for that, but they didn't find us guilty for that, and they give us more than they give those two, which absolutely made no sense whatsoever. They just had an axe to grind with because of the whole Gene Stalin situation where he kicked him out of his office in the 1990s. By the way, Hines 57A, I know you was trying to start your podcast. Do you still want to try to be a guest on here or something? Just let me know.
Let's see here. Well, there's something I was going to respond to.
So do you think that Alabama can stop Georgia?
I believe they can slow them down. Do I believe Alabama can beat Georgia? No. I'm being real with you. I think Jalen Milroe looks good. He looks improved. Do I think he's good enough to beat Georgia? I don't. Because
Georgia's really faced a quarterback with the dynamics of him, though, right?
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with the fact that nobody has when you think about it. In my opinion, Jalen Milroe is one of the fastest quarterbacks I've ever seen. Like, holy crap, one of, not the, right? But I'm looking at, like, Georgia, who is the past almost all year, they've been consistently running the ball. I believe they had like 300 yards rushing this past game. And Carson Beck has been throwing dimes with a deep ball, like 14 to 15 past 15 yards in the last game, multiple touchdowns. I think Alabama's defense would keep us in the game, but Jalen Milroe would not be allowed to make a mistake. If he throws an interception deep in Alabama territory or something, that would be the game. You would have to play a perfect game almost. I believe. And we can't, dude, our blocking for the pass block, it doesn't hold up. And Georgia has a hell of a defensive line coming off the edge. So that would be a serious problem.
What about our defense matched up against Carson Beck?
I believe it's favorable, right? I believe that's what keeps us in the game. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about can our offense score enough points against Georgia's defense? And, yeah, I agree that 100% that Georgia has looked stoppable at times. I agree with that.
Yeah, against South Carolina.
Yeah, but Alabama has looked shitty in a lot of games, right? So, like, they've looked like they couldn't even move the ball at times at all. So
Georgia has too.
No, and I agree with that. But Georgia can lean on the run to at least get them down the field.
Tennessee's got a sort of a running quarterback that might be able to test Georgia a little bit and give us an insight as to where they can handle that kind of shit.
And Georgia's defense now plays a multi-scheme on the back end, a mix of man and zone, which means the open lanes for playing pure man across the board isn't going to be there, right? So they're going to be able to spy Jalen Milroe. Not going to say they're going to stop him, but yeah. I just think Alabama, number one, go look at the defenses we've been playing lately. Jalen Milroe looks improved. I give him credit, but I'm not going to sit here and say the dude just turned into a Heisman Trophy winner overnight.
1989 says best chance to beat UGA is to put tons of pressure on their defensive backfield brothers there.
Yeah.
Front seven is basically an NFL team, but if they can be stretched out, somebody's got a chance to beat them.
But that's the problem. Our offensive line cannot hold up in pass protection to give him a chance to throw the ball against a team like that. Go look at the games we struggled in. It's because that front seven has gotten to Milroe, because then you can blow by our offensive line. That's not a good thing against Georgia.
Teresa says I'm about to get in trouble with her. What'd I do? I know I didn't mention Brent Venables to Alabama yet. Is that what I done?
Oh, my gosh.
There, I mentioned it. By the way, I just want to let y'all know that next year Alabama does go to Oklahoma. It's the Battle of the Crimson Nations. And the best Crimson Nation will prevail. That's my prediction.
You know what we should do? We should I think we should go to that game every year and make like some fan trophy, and you present it to like fan of the year or like commenter of the year or something, describer of the year, something like that.
Subscriber of the year, that'd be a good one.
Something like that. I think that would be pretty awesome.
I'd give him his Bear Bryant trophy right here, so they can know what a true legendary coach looks like.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't say that, by the way. That's all on this wrong way. This guy.
They be giving me hell all the time. They talking about how old boy that won 47 in a row.
Well, they did win 47 in a row.
Yeah. At a time when it was pretty easy to win 47 in a row.
I think don't even take away from that. I think we should go out. I think we should go out there, do a podcast from there, and then give the trophy out online and do a live stream. I think that would be top tier.
It'll be hard for me, man, because there's so many good people on here.
Well, you got to choose.
And it'd be like maybe we could give a group trophy or something.
No, it needs to go to one individual.
They're just taking the bar and run a tab up on Jonathan Lewis. Because Jonathan's making the big bucks now.
Hang on a minute.
He's corporate.
Hang on.
You like corporate Vince McMahon and shit now. You like corporate Undertaker or some shit.
Yeah, and I also had to spend
you're the corporate Rock.
years in school for that too. You're ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Man, come on now. You can buy me a picture of Screaming Blue MF.
I didn't say I couldn't do that, but you're talking about everybody.
Yeah, everybody. You better put that Mountain Dew down. Shit's gonna give you diabetes like me. What you doing?
Then I could only drink tequila. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, that breaks my heart when I have to drink that bottle of tequila.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Teresa, you still haven't told me what I'm in trouble for. I'm waiting on that, by the way, because I love getting in trouble. Something about it just makes me, I don't know, gives me a tent in my pants.
Yeah.
Secret for Alabama to beat Georgia is 0 mistakes, no turnovers, pre-snap, post-snap, blah, blah, blah. Milroe will have to play the game of his life.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's pretty much you're saying he's got to play a perfect game.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, that goes both ways. Georgia's going to have to do the same shit.
No, they don't.
Georgia's not as dominant as y'all put them out.
Texas did not play a good game against Alabama.
Missouri, without that damn turnover late, Missouri goes down and beats Georgia.
Don't get it twisted. Texas did not play a good game against Alabama.
No, they didn't.
But Missouri did play, right? So, like, that's the difference. You don't have to play your strongest game and beat Alabama.
I'm telling you right now, Georgia's not going to beat Alabama.
I mean, I don't want them to. I want Alabama to win out.
We can put a bet on that shit.
Hey, Coos. You see that?
Yeah, you just missed it, man. They was in here talking about your team, Coos. They was talking about and that's Todd. I was actually talking about them, too, about how a lot of your West Virginia people talk out of both sides of their mouth. And someone said Neil Brown didn't want to shake Brent Venables' hands. Is that true?
And then Jesse said, basically, I'm the voice of knowledge on here, and that's why I have to come on here to help them out. Kind of like Teresa says here, I'm the voice of reason of the two. See, people know. Your own fans know.
Yeah, they're the reason that I get to slap somebody.
I know you ain't slapping me. Because you must be taller than 5'5" to slap me.
I'm making up fields now.
Oh,
Just
my
because
bad.
you're
5'6".
just because you're 7'2", man, you're abnormally tall.
7'2". I'm 6'1". That's not abnormally tall.
It is, man. The average height of a male is 5'8", 5'9", and you're way over that. Man.
I'm not way. Come on now. 4 inches is not a lot, right, ladies?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yours all went up top. Mine went down bottom there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that what happens? You're ridiculous.
You don't know. You didn't see that. Come on now. You were supposed to be our West Virginia intel here.
I did hear the handshake was abrupt.
I'd do that. It was Jonathan.
No.
Jonathan said that Bob Stoops was going to Texas A&M.
No, hell no, I didn't.
Or you was agreeing with some guy that that'd be a good choice or something.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be stupid if Bob Stoops wanted to go to Texas A&M and they said no.
That'd be pretty stupid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how is it y'all get to claim Bob Stoops and Brent Venables? That's not right. Bob Stoops should be able to come to Alabama or somewhere like that if he wants to.
They went for it on 4th and 1, up by 39. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be feeling a certain way.
Maybe they were trying to run the clock out by going for it on 4th and 1 because Nick Saban does that sometimes. He'll go for it on 4th down when we're up.
But we don't
Every
score
single time he does that. He done that yesterday. We was up and he went for it.
I didn't get a chance to watch the game yesterday. I got to watch it tonight, actually.
We was up on Kentucky, I think, 49-21 or something like that. And Nick Saban went for it on 4th down and 4 at our 41-yard line. Or it was at their 37-yard line or somewhere along in there. And he did that because he just didn't want to punt the ball. And he didn't want to kick a field goal from 54 yards out because then he would have been accused of running to score it. So he went for it on 4th and 4 to run out the clock, which is probably what Oklahoma was attempting to do against West Virginia. I don't know. I didn't watch that game. So I wouldn't really know, Cuz, whether they were attempting to run the score up on you or not. You know what Steve Spurrier says about that, right?
No. What?
He says it's your job to stop him, not his job to stop him.
I mean, I won't disagree with that. But damn.
There was also a lot of stuff going on between players, and OU players got kicked out of the game. Yeah, I heard there was something going on in the end zone after a play by Drake Stoops or something. I heard it was a clean hit. I don't know why the Oklahoma players got upset with him, but anyway, there was a skirmish in the end zone or something, I think, is what I heard. Bob has to stay and support BV. Why? Does Brent Venables need somebody to hold his hand and tell him how to coach? I ain't trying to smack talk. I'm just saying that seems a little lame.
Yeah, you are. Stop lying.
Oh, that's not – come on, man. That's lame, man. Why would Bob Stoops have to stay and support BV if Bob Stoops could come to Alabama and be the head coach? Hell, he's done went to the XFL. To say Bob Stoops won't coach anywhere else has already been proven to be a lie, right? Oh, yeah, there might have been an issue at the handshake. But Neil Brown might want to think about that because I heard Brent Venables knows some MMA stuff. He might put him in a tap-out hold right there at midfield. You're going to put Neil Brown on a clamp down.
Yeah. You know who would be a good head coach in West Virginia?
Jimbo Fisher.
Isn't he from West Virginia?
He is. And I know that Kuz and them don't like that, but I'm telling you, and I'm trying to tell Kuz and them that I might just be that him and A&M just are not a good fit. They just don't fit, man. At West Virginia, he could do exactly what y'all want him to do. He could probably win 8 or 9 games a year. And that would be all right with West Virginia people because they don't strive to win national championships. They like winning championships. And what is that BB gun called? Red Ryder BB gun championships?
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I was talking about earlier, Kuz, is that some of your West Virginian people talk out of both sides of their mouth. They want to fire Neil Brown for not winning 9 or 10 games a year. And then when someone like outside of West Virginia's fan base like myself talks about it, they're like, oh, no, you know, we're not that way. We're happy if we just win 7 games a year. And then when Neil Brown just wins 7 games, y'all want to fire him. So which is it?
Here we go. Sooner fans are a bunch of sissies. Oh, God.
That's the secret.
Coos.
That's the secret to West Virginia's success. I just told you is to talk. Tell them to quit talking out of both sides of their mouth. If you say you're going to be satisfied with 7 wins, then be satisfied with 7 wins. If you don't win 8 or 9 games, and then y'all talking about firing him, I don't understand, man. Which is it? That's all I'm saying.
You said it's trash talk. I agree with that. And couch burning. Hey, in all seriousness, I want to see one of those.
Oklahoma players got upset because the dude came back and stood over top of Drake Stoops when the lights were off. When the lights were off. What? I don't know. What are you talking about? Maybe in a back room somewhere?
I like this. Who said we're satisfied with 7 wins? The man over here said
A lot of your fans, a lot of West Virginia fans will tell me, is what I'm saying, Chris, is I'll say, y'all need to strive for more. Y'all need to want to win and contend for national championship, playoff berths, conference titles. And when I say it, they're like, oh, no, man, we're not like that. We'd be happy with 7 or 8 wins. And then when they only win 7 or 8 games, then they're talking about getting rid of the coach. So which is it? Is all I was saying.
Oh, they're saying the lights turned up for the light show, the LEDs.
No, okay.
Because of the TD, the score. Yeah, that makes sense.
Chris said, who cares? He stood over and it happens all the time. Now, that is right.
I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
It happens all the time, especially in NBA and places like that.
Or when I stand over Jesse. He's only got to be about 5'9" to do that. Or JBC, my bad.
But you call me Jesse. That's my Christian name, boy. Say it right. Say it with pride.
Shut up.
Look, man, just because I outdrink you at the bar, man, you ain't got to get upset on
I
it.
go back to this every time, and everybody in here should know by now that can't happen.
No, man, it takes a lot to fill up the Jolly Green Giant. Ho, 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 Jonathan Lewis. What does this say? Standing over a down player taunting him isn't a part of football. That's why it's a penalty, and we're the sissies after you guys are crying. I got to keep scoring and say unsportsmanlike. Well, I can agree with part of that. I don't think that standing over a player, I don't even know if that should be a penalty, to be honest with you. If it is a penalty, I don't know. I mean, enter a gray area there. I mean, how do ones constitute? What if he's running the play, and just the momentum takes him over the top of him or something?
No, so that penalty is subjective to the ref. In other words, the refs are subjective to it. In other words, if they think it's too much, they can throw the flag. So,
Cuz wants to know why y'all still whining. Y'all won by 39 points. Why y'all crying about it?
I don't want to argue that either because you did win by 39 points.
Cuz said y'all wetting your diapers in here. And y'all just mad because Kansas and Okie Pokey State whipped that ass.
Why are you stirring stuff?
That's what Cuz is saying. I'm helping him complete the sentence.
Oh,
it was an incomplete thought. Speaking of Chokey Pokey State, they went down there and got beat by 42 by Central Florida.
I know. I can't believe that, man.
How do you do that, man? How do you get beat by South Alabama by 26, turn around and beat Oklahoma, and then lose to UCF by 42?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Gundy, man, if he would have been anywhere else but mid-card, Okie Pokey State, they're the mid-carders of college football. He would have been fired a long time ago going 4-16 against his in-state rival here in Alabama. He wouldn't have made it that past.
No.
He wouldn't have made it past 2 and 4. He would have been fired.
No.
Right. He said he's not whining. He's sick of the Big 12 refs. He said that y'all's referees are trying to fix games, Cuz.
Oh, Lord. Now we got Now the fans have turned on Coos.
Coos' crying corner. Oh, snap. He's bringing the heat on you, Coos. There's a zinger there. Caught me off guard a little bit. By the way, Coos has got a channel. If y'all want to go over and check
Good
out,
channel.
If y'all want to go over there and
attack him over there.
If y'all want to go over and talk shit on his channel, he'd be glad to have you over there. Go over there and talk about West Virginia and how they're whining, how they got beat by 39, that kind of shit. He would really appreciate the hell out of that.
And he has some good guests on. He has a really good channel.
He really does. He does some good work on interviews and conference realignment.
Conference realignment.
For OSU, the only thing they ever cared about is beating Oklahoma. Once they happen, they don't care.
It's kind of like Auburn.
Yeah. But at least Auburn's won a national championship. I don't understand how Oklahoma people, I've had sooner people get mad at me when I make fun of Okie State. I'm like, that's because it's not a real in-state rivalry. That's not a real rivalry if you're up 91-20. That's not a real rivalry.
That's not.
That's a charity case.
This man said OU just scored another touchdown against West Virginia.
Steve Norris says he loves our show. Always have me a few blunts rolled. So
Hell yeah.
By the way, Drake stoops for president. Well, hell, anybody can do a better job than what we got now, right? And just so y'all know, I'm not a Republican either. I'm actually used to be a registered Democrat. But, see, liberal spastics hijacked that party, so you could probably put anybody in there. I'd much rather have someone like Brian Bosworth be president.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to put an Oklahoma person in there, that's who I'd put in there. Or maybe Tommy Tuberville run for president one year. He's already a senator.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't understand how Oklahoma State can beat Oklahoma and then turn around and lose by 42 to a team that Oklahoma beat. I just don't get it. College football's like that, though, man. Cruiser said that's fine, but be prepared to get kicked out of the game. They kick you out of the game for standing over somebody?
Yeah, once again, it's a subjective. It's a subjective rule by the ref.
They can kick you out of the game?
Yes.
For just standing over somebody?
Yes.
That's sort of lame, man.
They can kick you out for any taunting penalty.
Really?
It's subjective.
Can they kick you out for that shit?
Actually, believe it or not, yes.
About two of them. You got any Texas fans out there? What do you want to know about USC? What's your thoughts on USC going forward, Jonathan? Where's the program going? How's Lincoln Riley's saga going to end?
I'm glad you clarified because both USCs are not doing good. So I wasn't sure which USC you were talking about.
They don't matter if it's the Cox or the Skittle shooters.
No, I think USC is they're going to have to find a defensive coordinator. They're about to move on from Caleb Williams, but I do think they got a lot of talent behind everybody that's leaving. Zachariah Branch looks like the future for USC, in my opinion. I think they're in all right hands. Will they win a national championship? Well, I mean, until Lincoln Riley can prove that he can win big games, I'm going to say no.
You don't think Lincoln Riley will be fired in a couple of years?
No.
I think he will.
They bought him a house, man.
I think they're going to tarmac that SOB just like they did Lane Kiffin.
No. See, they didn't buy Lane Kiffin damn near – I don't know how much that house was he got. But
it don't matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
USC is just like Texas A&M. They'll just throw that shit away, man.
I don't think they have that type of money, do they? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think they did.
Correction said Neil Brown was just embarrassed at the end. Maybe that's why he didn't shake his hand. I don't know.
Like, if yeah, and I agree here with Sooner Ross. I think if Lincoln Riley doesn't buckle down and get serious about finding an actual defensive coordinator that can work for them, they're going to continue to go through this process year in and year out. It's going to be a repetitive process.
See Joe 6 is in the house. She's got her badge. She's deputized. OSU didn't really win. OU beat themselves with penalties. By the way, for the record, Bedlam's 91 wins and OSU 20 wins. Yeah, that's what I said. It's a charity case.
It's not a rivalry.
But just so y'all know, just to play devil's advocate here now, don't unsubscribe to my channel. But Oklahoma State has the Bedlam trophy. How are y'all going to get it back?
Yeah, you got to figure that out. And I'm serious.
Oklahoma State will have that trophy for infinity and beyond, as the great Buzz Lightyear once said. So, in other words, Oklahoma State is technically, I guess, your daddy until y'all take it back from them. But how's that going to happen? Because as long as Mike Gundy's there, I don't think they're going to schedule that game. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Oklahoma kind of – the fans have got to be pissed a little bit. The fact that you're not going to be playing them anytime soon, I would assume. But
Chris has got a question for you.
You guys think Jimbo would be good? I think he would do good at West Virginia. I don't think he's going to win a national championship because, once again, I think Jameson Winston was a one-off. So, and that's why he won that. I think he would win a lot of games for West Virginia. He would make them competitive in most of their games. But
I think for the most part, he's been competitive at Texas A&M, but that wasn't the standard that they wanted.
No, they wanted to win a national championship. And I don't blame them. They paid him a lot of money.
They paid him national championship money. You're right.
Yeah, so I believe if he goes to West Virginia, and obviously he won't make that much money, and as long as West Virginia can be content with, okay, we're not going to win a national championship, most likely, but we can win a lot of games, and recruiting would skyrocket under Jimbo. Jimbo's a hell of a recruiter, so yeah. I believe that would help out a lot.
I just think it was a bad fit. And yeah, you're probably right. Without Jameis Winston, he doesn't win a national title. But
no,
that's ifs and buts that we really don't know. It's just like saying Auburn wouldn't win a national title without Cam Newton, which we probably know that's the truth, but we can't really prove it.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I can just pretend like I know, and when I don't.
Or says she don't care about a trophy, just 91-20, huh?
I beg to differ on that one. Me personally, I would be, I don't know. I'd be irritated. That's just me, though.
Well, they say they don't care about the trophy, but my devil's advocate point on that is why even have a trophy then?
Yeah.
If the game don't matter and the trophy don't matter, then why have a trophy? Obviously, y'all did care about that trophy because y'all took it back to Norman with y'all after y'all beat them last year. When y'all were 6-7, y'all beat them, but y'all couldn't beat them this year. I think it's like they said, though. Even John, you actually brought it to my attention because I didn't get to see the game. You told me that there was a horrendous call, a pass interference, no call. That
one of the worst calls I've ever seen in the history of college football.
So, I mean, he really did get job. Don't normally blame the officiating, but on that, you absolutely have to blame the officiating because that would have changed the entire game. They would have won the game.
If that wasn't pass interference in front of a ref, they got paid or something, or I don't know what. I don't know what is. I'm sorry, but that would have been 1st and 10 on the 2-yard line. Oklahoma wins that game. Sorry.
Could have said that Jimbo has a 70% winning percentage.
Yeah, he's going to win. He'll win games.
People make fun of him and stuff, but if you're satisfied with somebody that might give you an outside shot at the national championship playoff berth, he's your guy. Because he almost got Texas A&M in the playoff during COVID. You know, they were 9-1. It probably should have been in the playoff. Over Ohio State, we only played 8 games. It's not what I wanted. Kuz's Corner said West Virginia will likely never win a national championship with the current separation between conferences. You could be right.
Yeah. You're probably right.
But what people don't realize is West Virginia has the 15th best winning percentage in the nation over
I didn't know that.
over 100 plus years of football. They're the highest percentage winning team that's never won a national title.
Damn.
Everybody 14 and up has won one. Even Texas A&M won one, but it was back in 1939. I'm not making it up either, by the way. They really did win one in 1939. See any good comments that you want to read out? We'll get up out of here because I'm thinking about cutting it loose here in a second.
I'm tired.
Unless you got something else you want to add.
No, not really. I got to work tomorrow, so.
What do you think it's going to take to get Alabama in the playoff?
Texas has to lose. I think Texas has the upper hand as the best win-loss team because they win the head-to-head with Alabama. Alabama doesn't have great wins. They have, I think, 2 ranked wins. I think Texas does as well, something like that. And I think it's going to take Oregon possibly losing too, or at least looking crappy, right? So
if it comes down to Alabama or Oregon, and Oregon beats Washington in the championship game of the Pac-12, and Alabama beats an undefeated Georgia, they were saying that Alabama would jump Oregon because they would have the better win.
Who did Oregon lose to again? They lost to
Washington,
right? So how close was the game?
Washington game was pretty close, but they lost. And if Georgia stays undefeated, that's the caveat in all this. If Georgia gets nicked somewhere between here and there, it'll change things dramatically. But
the problem, I think Alabama's stuck in this scenario because if Alabama, let's say Texas is not a part of the situation, right? That means Texas lost another game, and that means us losing to Texas makes us look worse. Our strength of record goes down. It actually takes a hit. Whereas Oregon, and they win, will go up. I think Alabama has a good chance of going undefeated the rest of the season, right? Winning out, but not making the playoffs. I do think that's there.
Yeah. Bob, what I was saying was if it came down to Alabama or Oregon, who do you pick? Especially if Alabama beats an undefeated Georgia team that hasn't been beaten 3 years.
Well, I'll say this.
And it's the 2-time defending national champion. It's a better win.
I'll say this. If Alabama barely beats Georgia, why are we discounting Georgia still getting in over Alabama? Because
we beat Georgia head-to-head.
It doesn't matter.
Oregon didn't beat us head-to-head.
But who has the better loss? Georgia losing to an SEC West champ.
You know the head-to-head thing's probably going to trump that.
Hell, have you seen this committee? They are liable to do anything at this point.
It makes me weird that the 12-team playoff was this year.
Yeah, no, that I agree with.
That would solve everything because this year you have a field of 12 teams that could actually, you wouldn't know who was going to win.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And I'd love to have a home game here in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
But if you're really going to ask me who, let's say both of those wins are close, Alabama and Oregon, they both win their conference. I think Oregon has the better resume.
I disagree. And I'm not saying it because I'm an Alabama fan. I'm just saying it because I honestly believe that beating the 2-time defending national champion would have more
last year
with those people in the playoff committee would probably see the things that I'm seeing.
Did Georgia struggle with Vanderbilt?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they did. Did they struggle with South Carolina?
Oregon struggled with a few teams too.
No. But your argument is Georgia being 2-time national champions. So
exactly.
that's what you got to point to. So the 2-time national champions are scraping by
these
bottom feeders.
My argument's Alabama versus Oregon. Not Alabama versus Georgia.
But you're the one making the argument that Georgia's a 2-time. That's so you have to take that into consideration. I understand
who
that.
would be a more impressive win, honestly? Beating the 2-time defending national champions or beating Washington?
Yes,
who hasn't won a national
the one game, but we're not talking about one
Washington
game.
is not that great. Not really. They
Dude.
barely beat Arizona State. Arizona State's 3-7.
Georgia barely beat. Dude, Georgia scraped by a lot of teams this year.
True. My tiebreaker is the fact that Georgia hasn't lost in so long. And Alabama will be doing something that no other team can really claim.
Like, I get it. I believe it's close, but I'm probably picking Oregon.
Yeah, I pick Alabama.
Like, it just depends on how the teams look in the game. So he's saying Jonathan Lewis, Texas losing, but if Bama beats Georgia, that would make. Yeah, of course, it makes them look good. But Alabama lost to Texas as well. Like, the loss doesn't help Alabama at all. Like, outlaw wormhole.
I don't know where your boyfriend is. You talking about Killer Breeze? I don't know. I guess he didn't get the memo. He should have got a notification that I was going live if he wanted to come in here and hang out.
So,
why don't you give him a call, Lori, since he's your boyfriend?
So Jack Aker here says if Oregon wins out and beats an undefeated Washington, they should go to the playoffs unless they're 4 undefeated conference champions. So, and I don't think we're going to have that issue, though, to be honest.
I disagree completely with that.
Because Alabama can still lose to Auburn. Oregon can still lose to whoever. Like, I think we're not going to have this issue at the end of the year.
I think Washington, who they play next?
I don't know. That's a good question, though.
I know they play Washington State at the end of the year. That's not going to happen.
No, that one's not going to happen. They look Washington State.
Arizona State did give them a good game.
Why did I type in Washington State? Washington. Hang on, I'm about to tell you. Washington Huskies.
Thanks.
They have Oregon State, and then they have Washington State.
Oregon State?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. You might
Oregon
be right.
State. And it's
it might be a loss coming.
And it's at Oregon State.
Oh, snap.
So here's my argument to the question. You went, let's just say they went out then, right? So you won at Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ranked team. You beat Utah. That's a ranked team. You beat USC. That was a ranked team. You beat Oregon. That was a ranked team. Alabama only has 2 ranked wins.
USC wasn't ranked when they beat them.
This shows here they were.
No, they weren't. They weren't ranked.
Oh, well, maybe it's an updated version of it. They haven't ranked. I'm just going by what ESPN shows.
When it comes down to it, for me, if I'm the committee and I'm sitting in there and I have the deciding vote, the tie-breaking vote, my vote comes down to the fact that Alabama's just beaten a team that hadn't been beaten 3 years, and they're the defending national champion, 2-time national champion.
So you're basing it off one game.
Because you have to base it on what Oregon done against their best win, which would be over Washington. And Alabama's best win would be over Georgia. So if you're comparing Georgia and Washington, to me, Georgia is the win. Georgia, yeah, I can. I just did it.
It's Georgia, the totality of the schedule, not one game.
That's what it's going to come down to, though. You know it, and I know it.
That's wild.
You might wish it don't come down to that. That's what it's going to come down to.
It's not. They've already proved it.
I'm telling you, they ain't proved shit to me. Nothing like that. And as much as I hate to admit it, and you got to admit this too, in a way, there's an SEC bias. They want an SEC team in the playoffs.
They do because they want the money.
If Georgia loses to Alabama, they will either put Alabama in or there will be no SEC team in at all.
I'll agree. Now, I'll agree with that because Georgia scraped by too many times to let them in. I do believe that. I don't think it's a good scenario that nobody wants to be a part of. If that happens, I don't think anybody wants to be a part of that conversation. And I'm being dead serious.
The only problem I see with Wiley jumping in the NFL is the fact that he's done showed his ass a little bit, and I don't think an NFL franchise, if they're smart, would hire him as a head coach. Maybe as an offensive coordinator. I would never give him a head coaching job again anywhere. Still, he just can't come around to the notion that, hey, maybe I need an average defense. He ain't got to have a shutdown defense. Just an average one. Just hold people to 24 points. If they hold teams to 24 points, they win every game. Every game.
Like, this shit's going to get wild towards the end. You know that, right?
What's that?
It's about to get wild.
Well, that's what
College football is about to get real wild.
Every year in college football, people's like, man, look at all these undefeated teams. What if everybody goes undefeated? And then nobody goes undefeated. But it might happen this year. I mean, it's happened a few times, but it usually don't happen.
I think this is a messed up situation. Look, and here's I'll be completely
That needs
honest.
to go ahead and go to 12 teams right now.
If Texas wins out, are they automatically in? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think so too. I really do.
I definitely put Texas in over Alabama. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. If you beat somebody head-to-head and they don't beat you in a rematch or anything, then it should be the team that won head-to-head.
Well,
unless Quinn Ewers is not going to be playing. That might change my thinking a little bit.
And they said the committee does look at that, by the way.
Exactly.
They look at injuries.
That'd be the only way that I would not put Texas in is if Quinn Ewers was out for the season.
But what if Arch Manning, the savior himself, comes in?
But the Malik Murphy guy, I guess he ain't been doing too bad. They've been winning games. Was Quinn Ewers in this last game or no?
No, it wouldn't.
He was not?
As far as I know of, he wouldn't.
Okay, I thought he came back this game. I didn't know.
Hang on, let me look. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. But I didn't.
Was Quinn Ewers the starter in the TCU game? Does anybody know?
I'm looking up the stats right now to see if I can find them.
Oh, I forgot. Texas plays Iowa State still.
Quinn Ewers did come back.
I thought so.
Yeah, 22 of 33, 317. So, so the conversation is useless.
I forgot. Does Texas still have to play Iowa State? I didn't know that.
They're going to beat Iowa State.
We thought that about TCU too, didn't we?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Houston. Damn, Houston's horrible. And they almost let them come back from 21-0 to beat them. They still also played, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Dude, working all these hours has me all over the place.
I know, right? All right, brother, you want to call it a night or what?
I'm good. It's 9 o'clock. I got to be at work at 5 in the morning. So, yeah, I'll take it.
All right, brother. I enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me on here. Everybody make sure to like, share, subscribe, obviously, here. Make sure to go check out Kuz's Corner. A lot of great content on his channel as well. And, yeah, other than that, thank you for having me on again, man.
All right, brother. Take care. And that was Jonathan Lewis, formerly the former podcaster. He's like Prince of podcasting, right? But, yeah. See what we got here before I get out here. Was any comments here that y'all want to get pressed to the top real quick? Y'all want me to respond to? Y'all just hit the dollar sign there at the bottom, and I'll address them real quick. Jack Acker says FSU is looking shaky. I do agree with that. Kuzis says, do you guys think WVU should move on from Neil Brown? I think if West Virginia were to win one more game, I would think you might want to keep him for one more year, maybe 2 more years. What do you think, Kuz? Should they get rid of Neil Brown? John Christophic says Neil Brown's a good coach. West Virginia will win 8 games this year. If they win 8 games, I do believe they should keep Neil Brown at that point. CJ6 says, have a good week. Appreciate that. PZ Aviation says Alabama versus Oregon State. Who would win? I don't know. Oregon State's a lot better team than a lot of people know. A lot of people don't know a lot about Oregon State. They're a really good team. I'm sure that they could give Alabama a run for the money. I still think, though, Alabama would probably win that game in the end. Appreciate it and love the chat. All of you are super interactive and fun. That is true. I think I'd be okay with another year if they win at least 7, but I'd also be okay if we moved on, says Kuz, as far as Neil Brown's concerned. Well, it's been a good week. Alabama won. Oklahoma won. Wish West Virginia could have won for Kuz if they hadn't been playing Oklahoma. Con time, Deion Sanders and the groupies, the tent in their pants has gone down quite profusely, so that made me happy as well. Lincoln Riley continues to crap the bed out there in the LA Skittle Shitter land. And all is well in college football. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.